Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're going to do some modeling on our track. We're going to do some painting of the rail, and then we're going to use some pastels to weather the ballast and the ties. That's coming up. Okay guys, so here's the last section I have to do in this area for painting the rails. You can see I've already got from this viewing angle, I've already painted the sides of the rails. I used some burnt sienna at the soldered rail joints. I did that a few weeks ago. And then I've got some burnt umber. This is just a junk piece of wood. And I just use an old brush and just try to get it in there. Get rid of the silver is all I'm looking for. I just don't want that bright silver on the sides of the rails. It's fine up on top. I want the connectivity. But also if you look at rails on a real railroad, the tops are nice and silver because they're always getting that wear from the daily run. But the sides usually get a little bit of grit and grime, maybe a little rust, a lot of dirt, so they don't stay shiny. So we'll let this dry. First we'll take a paper towel and we'll just wipe the tops of the rails. And we'll clean them real good once we're all done. But for now this will work. Just get the heavies off. And then what we'll do is we'll let this set up and we'll come back with some pastel powders and we'll start doing a little bit more weathering. Okay guys, so we'll do a little bit of pastel work here. I've kind of got started. This is just a little bit of black. You can use all kinds of different colors. And then I just use this it's just a junker brush, but I just use it to kind of blend things in. I can move stuff around. But look at those rails, how they just look so weathered and aged. That's what I'm looking for there. Versus, there's a section that I haven't done. You can really see the difference here. I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit. See there, and then I come back to where we've done a little bit of work and you can really see the difference. So I'll keep going with this. So once I finished all of my weathering, I went ahead and just hit it with a clear coat, a dull coat, just to seal everything in there, and then I'll go back and I'll clean the tracks. But you can see a difference. They just show a little bit more age, which is what I'm looking for here. Again, modeling the track is really what I'm doing here. Okay guys, so I was able to clean up the tops of the rail heads, and that's going to finish up our track that we've been working on here, modeling and weathering. It looks a lot better. Just a little variety, but it looks used. I mean, it looks like something you'd see in the real world, which is what I'm going for here. Alright guys, so with finishing up the modeling of the track in this area, I took my utility knife and I started doing a little bit of the scenery kind of landscape terrain type work right along the front edge of the layout. I do want to put some trees and some kind of larger scenery here so that the trains have to go behind them, so that the trains aren't always in front of everything. So I'm going to do a little bit of that here, but I thought I'd get a little bit of terrain. I just used my utility knife, cut this stuff out. I have a heat gun, and I just went, after I cut this foam out, I just went over that with the heat gun just to kind of get rid of all the little boogers off of cutting the foam insulation board. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up a batch of plaster, and I'll just smooth this out a little bit, and we'll get ready to do some scenery work in here. Alright guys, so I got a little bit ahead of myself. We still have 4 ground throws that we need to install in this portion of the layout for our 4 turnouts. So I'm going to grab the materials that I need and I'll come back and we'll get those installed. Alright guys, so I use these Caboose Industries ground throws. So here's how I'm going to install this. I've got a little piece of cork road bed. I've cut it to the width I'd like it. I can always cut this down. I'm going to put some hot glue on it. Just a quick easy set. Get that where I want it and just kind of push it down in there. And there's one of them. I just took my utility knife and kind of gouged out a little section there in the middle just so everything will slide really nice. I don't want anything to hang up. It's fun to run your trains and everything work right. So I made a whole bunch of new ties out of basswood. So what I'll do is I'll set a couple of these. I'm just going to show you. I'll end up setting these with probably CA glue. I'll set those like that. Make sure that I got my holes for where my track spikes will secure my ground throw, and it'll look like that when we're all done. So I'll get that one done and then I'll come back. Okay guys, so I got this one done. So everything's operating just nice, just like I want it to. The look's there. We'll just have to ballast this when we finish the ballasting at these turnouts. Again, I just used a pin vise, some tweezers, and I've got a little nail set that I use for pushing the spikes in. That's it. Pretty easy. I'm going to do the other 3. Okay, so here we are. 1, 2, I'm going to spin here, 3, and 4. We got the 4 ground throws in. I do have to come back. These 3 here are all new, so I'll have to come back with some orange paint and paint the lever up top just so they match the rest of them. But moving on. All right guys, so our plaster's had a chance to dry. So now I'm just coming in with some territorial beige to use as a base color here for my scenery. I'm just getting it on there. Trying to put a kind of a healthy coat of it on there. Because what I'll do is I'll sprinkle some dirt. I'll sift some dirt on while this is wet, just to get me a base to start building my scenery. So I'll get this all painted up and then I'll come back. Alright guys, so that's going to about wrap it up for this video. You can see looking over my shoulder here that I finished up the ballasting work in this area of the layout that we were working, and then I got a layer of topsoil spread out over that terrain color that we put down earlier in the video. We did a lot of foundational type work on the layout in this area in this video, and it's going to take some time to get to that finished product, but I'm not in any big hurry. I really enjoy this. Thanks for watching guys. Happy railroading.